Welcome back to La Rouges, where we talk everything Canada soccer and US soccer. Today we are going to be talking about the Canadian men's World Cup qualifying roster, which I thought wouldn't come out till another day, but it did actually come out today. So we're going to be talking about that, as well as this video will also probably be short compared to the US roster one, because for the Canadian roster, you already know what to expect. Your same names: Davies, David, Hoylett, but I'll read off the list, and you guys leave a comment if you tell me if you guys expect any surprises or any names on here that I read off that or don't read off actually that would ring a bell or surprise you. But because this video will be short, I'm also going to be talking about the rankings and the new FIFA rankings that were released I think it was 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, and both the USA and Canada, as both La Rouge and the Yanks do move up, but we'll be talking about, do these rankings really matter, or how much do they really mean? Which will probably open another can of worms for a lot of people, but it's just something I do want to go ahead and talk about, even though it could be made another video, but that would also be a short video, so I just want to combine this video to just make it equally long as the US video. So without further ado, we're going to read off the names of your Canadian men's World Cup qualifying road to Qatar lineup, starting with Samuel Adekubi, Milan Boyan, Tejan Buchanan, Lucas Cavallini, Maxime Crepeau, Jonathan David, Alphonso Davies, Stephen Eustachio, Leon Fraser, Donnell Henry, Junior Hoylett, Atiba Hutchinson, Oster Johnson, Mark Anthony Kay, Scott Kennedy, Kyle Aaron, Richie Larea, Kamal Miller, Jonathan Osorio, James Pantomis, Samuel Piet, Stephen Victoria, and David Wotherspoon. As I said earlier, you're going to have Davies, David, you're going to have Tejan Buchanan, you're going to have your starters, you're going to have basically it's going to be run it back for World Cup qualifying round 1 and 2 that happened earlier this summer. Not really a lot of changes. One change for me that I am deeply saddened about that happened in the Gold Cup was the loss of Io Akinola. He tore his ACL against the USA, and man, he was one of the rising stars too. That he started off in the U.S. Academy in Detroit, then made the move to Canada in Toronto, and then unfortunately, he did commit to Canada, but fortunately tore his ACL in the process, and it's just a real thorn in the side for the Canadian fans. Seeing this guy, he's a shining star. He's like Alphonso Davies and Jonathan David. These guys got potential, but seeing him tear his ACL against the Yanks like that in the Gold Cup just really put a thorn in the side, and really it just hurts. Yeah, he's out for the season. I don't think he's ever going to be able to take place in this year's World Cup qualifiers. Maybe in 2026. Canada, USA, Mexico hosted, so there will probably be no qualifier for those teams. But maybe 2030. I hate that we to look down the line that far, but I think that's what unfortunately has to come to in terms of World Cup qualifyings. But he will be back. Unfortunately, it's not going to be for this cycle of World Cup qualifying, but for the next. Also, no Tyler Pasher for Houston Dynamo, another rising star in my opinion. Started off at Indy 11, had a breakout season for them, and then made the move to Houston Dynamo, which he also scored, and I think he also scored in the Gold Cup too. That's one thing I'm really surprised to see on this, but it's not really a big deal because these other names that I'm looking at right now, the same people I saw against World Cup qualify, they got the job done against Haiti, against Suriname, against all the other teams. They got it done. Hopefully they'll get it done against Honduras, El Salvador, and the USA for their first 3 games of World Cup qualifying this September. Next month, by the way. Couple days, actually. But, other than those 2 names for me, are there really other surprises on this list for you guys? We expect to see Davies. We expect to see David. We expect to see most of these names on here, unless Europe has some protocols for COVID that says that they cannot leave for international duty. But for the most part, just like the USA, we expected to see your big 3, Davies, David, and even, you can argue one of them can either be on there, but you expected to see those 2 names on there for sure. you expected to see, your keeper, Milan Borjan, which a lot of people will actually want to see either Pantemis or another keeper over him. But, yeah, speaking of that, where's Dane St. Clair? You know, I thought he looked pretty good for Minnesota and in the Gold Cup, but Dane St. Clair is not on this list. So, really interesting for me. That's the third name I forgot to mention that I'm surprised it's not on this list. Dane St. Clair, Many people are going to probably be upset that he's not on this lineup and instead Milan Borjan's taking his place. But, yeah, Dane St. Clair, where is he? But, yeah, Maxime Crepeau's on this list, as well as James Pantemis, but no Dane St. Clair, which is surprising. But other than those names, I really don't have any other surprises. But if you guys had a name that I didn't read off or did read off, leave a comment below and tell me what you expect or who you expect to see on this lineup and why, and what do you think it could have, how this could have made this impact better. But other than that, not really any surprises for me. Now I want to talk about the rankings. The second half of the video. The FIFA rankings just got released, and it shows that the USA are now top 10, number 10 actually, for the first time since 2006, while Canada moved up, I think, 11 spots from, 70 to 59, I believe, and before they were 75, so Canada's climbing the ladder, which is good news for Canadians, but for the US, it's also good news for them. At the same time, though, one could argue that FIFA rankings are really arbitrary and don't matter, which is why I said this could also be opening up a can of worms for a lot of people that could try and argue and say it does matter and it is significant. But look at Canada, honestly. I mean, heck, look at Belgium. They lost in the UEFA, they lost in that one, and the Euros this summer, and to Italy, and they're still number one. The USA beat Mexico twice, once with their C team. They moved in the top 10, but Mexico's number 9. They're still one spot above them. So, look at Canada. Look at the hard work they did, grilling through their World Cup qualifying, stage 1 and 2. Did they really I don't think they really got as much credit as they deserved. And yet they only moved up 11 spots, which, if we look at Jamaica's all the way at 45. And I think this Canadian team can compete with the Jamaican team. I think they can go toe-to-toe. I know it might sound like a hot take, but honestly, I think this Canadian men's team should be ranked higher, in my opinion. But, as I said, FIFA rankings really don't matter because, there's always upsets. Look at Mexico and USA. Mexico was 11, USA was 20th. USA took them to school this summer, and Mexico still has the edge over the USA in rankings. So, I don't know. FIFA rankings, I know they work. It's a point system, but in my opinion, some of the Canada should be like 30, and especially with the talent they have that's coming. Jamaica should be a little higher too. But Canada honestly got robbed in this one. They should be at least, if not the 30s, at least like to where Jamaica is, the mid 40s, even lower 40s. It's just they didn't get justice. I think they got robbed this year. But as I said, do FIFA rankings really matter? As I said, Belgium, look at Mexico, you look at Italy. Italy beat England. I mean, they did move up, but England's still ahead of Italy. So, then as I said earlier, the point system, I know how that works, but honestly, for rankings to be like that is kind of weird in my opinion, which is why I think that they don't really matter. They don't really tell how good of a true team it is. Like, heck, one could even argue that the USA, where they're at number 10 right now, someone could say that's too high because, they can say the US really better than Germany, the Netherlands, Denmark, Sweden. Are they really better than Wales? I know they're tied, but are they really better than some of those European teams they're higher against, like Ukraine and even Czech Republic? They're really higher than those, but I don't make the rankings. I just go by them, we read them, we interpret them, and I just give my honest opinion on what I think about them. So that's what my opinion is on the rankings. That Canada should be higher. If the USA jumped all those spots, they jumped 10 spots to the top 10. Canada, at least, honestly, they went toe to toe with them. They beat them in 2019. You know, went toe to toe with them in the Gold Cup, other than allowing for a 20-second early goal in that, which cost them the game. But other than that, they went toe to toe. They went toe to toe with Mexico. They had a great Gold Cup run. And unfortunately, Canada only went up about that much, which 11 spots is still significant, but in my opinion, I would love to see Canada go up even more. But now it's the time to do that. Next rankings come out, during World Cup qualifiers, and if they can have a good run, then they can prove that they are one of the top teams in the world, as well as the European and South American teams, and this is their chance to do so. So we'll see what they can do in the fall, winter, and spring, this Road to Qatar 2022. But that pretty much does it for this video. If you like this, both roster and rankings preview, please leave a like, subscribe, tell all your friends. Also tell all your friends that get ready to follow Canada as they begin their journey to the 2022 World Cup to Qatar.